Welcome to E360 TV, the live streaming and on-demand destination for influential voices and enlightened audiences. We offer trending, grassroots, and purpose-driven content across a diverse range of interests. E360 TV is more than just watching programs. We offer the ability to interact with live shows connecting audiences to real, authentic influencers and storytellers while streaming to millions of devices. Real experiences. Raw conversations. One destination for it all. E360 TV.
You're watching The Whole Living Show on Trajectory TV.
Operate out of your dreams and your vision and not other people's expectation. Having breast cancer wasn't my choice, but the decision to live healthy so that I could stand before you here today, that's choice. You can choose this very moment to change your life from every perspective.
Tracy Randolph was our speaker. She came back because so many people liked her first presentation. I was one of those people that joined her fitness group, and it made me a better leader.
I grew up in a community, but they had limiting beliefs on what a little black girl could do. Everything that you do in this life is a choice. I choose to live healthy. I choose to change my mindset. I choose to be everything that I dreamed of because I choose faith and I choose me. Live healthy, be everything that you can be today. Choose yourself. Hello, everyone. Welcome back to another episode of The Whole Living Show. Well, let me tell you, we have some special guests backstage. Two of my very favorite people are here for Connected Conversations. But before we get into Connected Conversations, you know, I like to share some good information. So I'm going to share my screen with you. I'm going to show you this video. Now, listen, as I always tell you, make sure that when you're listening to these things either on social media, you're reading them in the media, wherever you're getting your information, make sure you fact check, make sure you double check. But I always like to give you the information that's out there because we need to be aware. Things are changing rapidly, particularly in the United States, and we need to be aware and we need to be able to protect our health. So I'm going to share my screen. I want to show you this video. And you can tell me what you think. What do you think about this? But let's get into it here. All right.
And pretending to be those companies. It's real.
So I'm guilty of ordering supplements on Amazon. It's convenient, it shows up, but I recently read, though, that there can be scams on there. The supplements you're buying may not actually include all of the active ingredients listed. Is that true?
Very true. So probably about a third of the products on Amazon have proprietary blends, and so those are scams. Secondly, there's a lot of counterfeit products on Amazon from some of the biggest and best brands. Thirdly, Now Foods tested a number of the supplements, these single ingredient products, looking at berberine, astaxanthin, curcumin. There's about 13 different ingredients that they looked at, and they tested every single ingredient company on Amazon. What they found on average across these 13 different tests was that about 80% of these supplements did not meet the label claim for the active ingredient. And about 20% on average had no active at all. What? Yeah. So my recommendation, 1, watch the Mind Valley Supplements Quest. 2, definitely think about what you're buying on Amazon. Buy the best brands. Try and buy first party, not third party. For example, if Now Foods sells on Amazon, buy from Now Foods as the seller or trusted seller. And definitely avoid proprietary. They are literally creating fake bottles and putting in fake capsules and pretending to be those companies. It's real.
So I'm guilty of ordering supplements.
All right. What do you all out there think about that? I just wanted to share that because, listen, Amazon is the go-to for most people, right? All over the globe, not just the United States. And I want to make sure that you are paying attention to what's in the things that you are buying, particularly in your supplements where you are looking to get a certain vitamin or mineral to improve your health. And that particular brand that you're buying may not have what you need in it. So as he said in the video, if it says proprietary blends, make sure that you are researching either that third party or even that first party and what they're putting into it. If there's third party independent studies done on those vitamins and minerals, make sure you go and do your research and look into that. But pay attention to the ingredients, everyone. And also, there is an app out there that I always share. It's called Yuka. And if the supplement comes up on Yuka, Yuka will tell you exactly what's in it that is not good for you. It'll grade it, and it'll have it by color, and it'll also have it by a word. So it'll give you good, fair, poor, excellent, and then it'll grade it by color going from red to green. So you can use that app to help you to figure out whether or not supplements are good for you if they have the good ingredients in them. So I just wanted to mention that to you, but make sure you're doing your homework. And listen, I'm going to say this, and because I like to challenge things here, because Amazon is what it is and it's so major, go to the independent companies to buy your supplements, particularly when it comes to something that you need to consume for your health. Go to the independent companies, do your research on those companies, and buy directly from them, because there's so many different parties that go into Amazon selling products online. And it may not necessarily come from Amazon. It may come from some other third party that may not be trusted, right? So go to that particular company that you're looking to buy from and get your supplements from there. All right. So we are going to get into the conversation of Treat Her Like a Lady, part 2. Part 2. And we have, as always, every month, we've got Shema She Talks here. Hello, hello, hello.
Hello, Whole Living.
Hello, welcome back. Welcome back for Connected Conversations. And we also have my little brother here, Ryan Tolliver. So I have to tell the story because we do it real here on Whole Living. So I have to tell the story. So Ryan was watching us last month, and he did not agree with everything that we were saying. So he said, you know what? I need to be on the next Connected Conversation. So this is why we are doing a part 2. We're going to get the man's perspective on Treat Her Like a Lady. So hello and welcome, little brother.
Thank you for having me.
Absolutely. So we've got some eyes out there. Hello, Catherine. Hello, Nisi. Hello, hello. And hello to our mom here. Thank you. Hey. All right. So let's get into the conversation. Let's get into it. Now,
let's recap.
We were talking last time about, first dates. I'm going to start with the first dates, right? We'll start a little mild and then we'll move into it. So Shema and I were discussing last show about first dates and first dates not having to be so heavy because people really need to get to know each other. And what if you find out that you don't like this person, one party or the other? Doesn't matter if it's the male or the female, or, one party or the other doesn't like that person so much. So why spend, this grandiose amount of money on somebody that you will not want to see again? So Ryan, we're gonna let you start this time.
No
We
problem.
talked about
I highly anticipated this moment. So how I look at it, and I've even asked around to several guy friends of mine, and even my wife, to get her perspective on it. And she agreed with you guys to a certain degree. She said maybe the first date, but the second and third, now you got to come hard. You got to show me what you really got. But in addition to that, all of the men called, BS right from the beginning. They're saying, no, you have to go all out for a woman, especially nowadays. Women are self-sufficient and empowered, and they're maintaining themselves. You have to come hard. And the competition is even harder. Men are very competitive, for one.
Yeah.
And women I feel women like the competition. You may be dating 2 or 3 men at one time, which is nothing is wrong with it. You're just dating, but you're competing amongst those 3 men, 3 or 4, or however many you may be dating at that time. So yes, at all times we have to come strong and hard from the beginning.
From the pocket.
From the pocket. I cannot take you to McDonald's or, and so, like I said, the social media has a big thing to play in this situation. Right now you can't go to that one restaurant that everybody likes to go to, that we won't say the name of it, but that was a nice restaurant. We used to take people there. Now you can't even do that anymore. You got to go.
Now you can't go there. I know.
You got to go into the city and rooftops and pop bottles and things of that nature in order to, even get a chance for the second date.
So I have to challenge all of this.
Yes.
And the reason why I do is because, especially for a woman of my age, right? When you get to a certain age and a certain level of maturity,
right,
all of that stuff doesn't matter. And you said one key thing, right? For the women who are empowered, they are making their own money. They can buy their own bottles. They can buy their own extravagant dinners and bags and shoes and whatever else it is that, typically the younger generation wants the men to buy. The older women can already do this. So now it's show me who you are. Because, and I'm saying this from failed relationships, right? And people who couldn't bring certain things to the table. And it wasn't just about money. It was, where's the integrity? Where's the love? Where's the respect? Where's the consideration? You know what I mean? Which is more important. Where's the trust? Which is more important than the other things, because you can build to a certain level of financial status, right? If your head and your heart is in the right place.
That's right.
Go ahead, Steve.
We talked about this. You and I talked about this briefly the other day. And maybe in my 20s, I was probably like, okay, well, if you take me on a picnic date, I might be a little upset about that. But not me, because that's just me. But the average 20-something-year-old back in, when were we 20s? In the 90s, we weren't looking to do picnics and stuff like that. We wanted elaborate stuff. We wanted to go on boat rides. We wanted to rent Lamborghinis or whatever, and you take us out on a date. But like she said, when you get to a certain point where your money is sufficient, your lifestyle is sufficient, all those surface things start to mean less.
Yeah, but so how I look at it,
opportunities to, when we were talking about them last month, it was for those people who are really looking for something, or for the guy who is dating several women. And I know it sounded like we weren't on their side, but I'm trying to get you to date more than one, and to be able to date more than one, not feel like you're having your pockets taxed. So don't go elaborate for somebody who didn't even show you that they deserve a elaborate date.
True, I agree with that. But what I don't agree with is
competition. I'm sorry.
What I don't agree with is you may just not get a second chance because you did not do that. And with a woman who is of a certain age, is accomplished, is sufficient in her own life, I do believe that you are looking for a man that can keep up with you.
Yes. Now, can I interject for one moment? I'm going to say what I want to know is, where's your mind at? Because she started pointing to her head. Where's your mind at? But what's your credit score? What assets do you have, or are you building? It's a little bit different because if you have those things, then you can come with the other things later on, right? The things that are maybe a little more superficial that we may want and desire a little bit later. It's not as important though, because it's like, I don't want somebody who has to rob Peter to pay Paul, as our parents used to say, right, to take me to dinner, because that's not sustainable, and you're not going to be able to keep that up. And now you're a fraud, right?
But are you actually asking those questions and having those conversations on the first or second date? You're asking what's your credit score? What's your
on the first or second date? No.
So therefore, I feel as if you're still judging that man off of his character and what he provides during that date, and it's not just So therefore, he has to go.
It's not lobster and filet mignon. It is. Can I listen to your conversation for longer than 20 minutes and not feel like I need to run out the back door?
Right.
And I stomach the fact that you touched me with that hand that doesn't look like it had any lotion on it, or or anything, or you're too handsy, or your eyes are wandering, or the conversation is just flailing. I'm more concerned with that part, the first 20 minutes of the date, than I am with, I'm going to eat lobster in about 20 minutes.
Yeah, but then when you go home and he drops you off and you call your girlfriend circle on 4-way and you have this conversation and say, girl, he just took me to the park and last night I was out with John, and and she's going to say, girl, John doing it big. John is doing it big, and he seemed like a nice guy, and they both seem nice, but John, the guy to go with.
And John strung 3 words together and made the worst sentence I ever heard in my life. So he's not taking me out again because I can't understand what he's saying.
Yeah, you said a key word,
and that's just personal preference. It does matter. We do want great things. We want wonderful things, but we want sustainable. I want sustainable things. I want steak dinners every month. If that's what we're doing, if that's our date itinerary, I want it every month. Can you do it every month? If you're doing it 5 days straight because you're trying to win me over, I don't know. I don't. That doesn't show me who you are.
Right.
Plus, you said a key word, Ryan. You used the word character, right? Someone showing you their character. And that comes in many different ways. And I'm not saying that what you're saying is not a part of it. It is to a certain extent, right? But the character matters over, the steak dinner. I'm going to give y'all that steak dinner. We don't do steak dinners around here, but I'll give you that.
Oh, we forgot. Sorry.
We don't eat that.
But I do have to agree with you, Ryan, that I guess I didn't think about the guy's side, because you guys do have competition. So if you've taken me to the park and given me a rose that you picked on the way to the park, and then this other guy comes along and he's bought 12 dozen roses and sent them to my house and flooded my kitchen with it or whatever, it's harder for you guys. If I take the woman out of the perspective, it's harder for you guys to try to compete with that. But like I said, you just hope that she's looking at the inner you, not that one.
Right. I agree. And we come to a resolve.
But now, see, I have to speak on that again too, because what you're saying is more about the thought process. For me personally, I'm just, let me put my own opinion in there. It's more about the thought process behind it. It's more about, what measures did you take, or what was your thought about me to do something so nice for me? You know what I mean? Versus what it actually is, right? At this point, at this point in life, and let's be clear, right? Because I'm 53 and single. We're honest on this show, right? So I need to be real transparent. I'm 53 and single, soon to be 54 on Saturday, and just have not been with the right person until now. But just have not been with the right person, right? And that fault is the fault of the person and the fault of me too, right? Because you got to take responsibility for the things that you accept in your life as much as the other person is at fault. So I wanted to put that out there, but I want to play these 2 videos by someone that I love following. His name is Derek Jackson. And he is always talking about relationships and how to treat a woman. So I want to get, the 2 of you, I want to get your take on this. So I'm going to share my screen again because I want to present these videos to you. And both are coming from a different perspective. Actually, I'm going to play one and then I will, we'll have some commentary and then I'll play the other one.
The screen didn't share the first time. I didn't know if you saw it.
Oh, no, I didn't. Okay, so give me 1 second here as we get the technology going here, everybody.
We all know how that goes, right?
Exactly, especially for someone who is a little technically challenged here. Okay, 1 moment. It's coming up. It's coming up. All right, so now, can you see my screen?
No.
Nope.
It's not sharing. Okay, here we go.
There it is.
Now you can. All right,
Make sure that you're safe for her. You want her to be loyal to you? Then you can't let other girls think they got a chance with you. You want her to be patient with you? Well, you got to show her tangible progress on the things you promised to improve upon. And if you want to keep her attention, you got to make her a priority. She's not about to focus on you while you still got eyes for everybody else. And that don't mean that she's stuck up. She just learned a long time ago to stop treating people according to her empathy and start treating them according to their effort and consistency. And it don't matter how deep in she may have gotten. She understands it's okay to realize that she doesn't feel loved there and walk away. Like, she's not about to beg you to get on her level, but she will give you a chance. And take note and detach accordingly if you want. So before you go looking for that good woman, please go find God first, then yourself. Otherwise, you're going to get sent right back to where you came from, because you can take your audacity with you.
You can take your audacity with you.
With you. All right. Commentary.
Well, he said it for me at the end. You can take your audacity with you.
That is true.
You
got to come correct. You got to come correct and be able to listen and understand what you want and what she needs. In order to make anything work. We just can't be one-sided and self-centered and think that a relationship will be sustained based off of what you think. It's a two-way street, and communication needs to be open and honest between both parties in order for everything to work amicably.
Yeah, absolutely.
And how long do you think you can go with this persona that isn't? It's only a certain matter of time before the real you comes out and you show your true colors, and you're not able to, hold up that facade anymore.
Yeah. So let me put my coach's hat in there a little bit, because when you say, like, you may not be able to hold up the facade, one of the last parts that he said in that video is get to know God and know yourself. Right? Sometimes I don't even think for some men it's a complete facade. I feel like they just don't know who they are. I feel like they have not been able to get through some of the traumas of life, some of the challenges that they've had in life, and they don't really even know who they are or who they want to be able to show up for a woman in a way that a woman needs them to show up. So then they create a persona around all of that mess and muck and mire that they've had in their life. And that's really who they are now, right? Because they can't really get to the real stuff until they start to clear out. Like, all of this stuff needs to come off. You know what I mean? In order for them to be able to get to whatever the real them needs to look like. But I don't think some men even know what that is or who they are.
That is true. That is true. Because there are men that can take you out to that lobster dinner every night, that have a 750 credit score, drive a Lamborghini, everything that you wanted, checked all of those boxes, but have no emotional intelligence
at all,
or aren't empathetic. No woman nor man will get all of their boxes checked. You know, a lot of people start out saying, "Oh, these are my standards, and they're up here, and I won't break them for anything," until they're later on in age and they don't have nobody, and those standards start to come down, and you understand that it works, and you might find the love of your life with that, and it is what it is. But men are totally different creatures than women. We are very pattern based, and if what we've been doing, we will continue to do until we understand what we need to do isn't working anymore. You know, we had a conversation long ago, Shema, on the same thing.
Let me ask you from a man's perspective, like, what does it take to get there, and how do you even recognize it?
Right.
I'll give you a personal experience.
Mm-hmm.
Before I was married, you know,
Mm-hmm.
I was a pattern based individual.
Mm-hmm.
My girlfriend at the time, prior to us even being engaged, she
Mm-hmm.
said, "We need counseling." And I'm, you know, in the Black society, counseling, you must be
Mm-hmm.
crazy or a little slow, or you need something, you know.
Mm-hmm.
But we went to counseling. It cost me thousands of dollars, but we went to counseling. And I learned a lot. You know, I said, we can't go to a woman. She's going to be on your side. We went to a Black male, and it was an eye opener, not just for me,
Mm-hmm.
but also it was all about communication. We weren't even communicating. We didn't even know how to talk to each other to get through some of the situations that we were going through.
Mm-hmm.
So I would say counseling. I have no problems with it.
Yeah, that's amazing. And I'm glad that you said that, right? Culturally, right?
Yeah.
Counseling was taboo, right?
Yeah.
You're crazy. And the other part of that culturally is you don't want nobody knowing your business, right?
Right.
So it's two of the reasons why, you know, typically in our culture, we didn't go to any counselors. But I love that you said that, because you need that person in between that can give you a fresh perspective,
Mhm.
right? And is skilled in what they're doing also, right? To be able to help you. Oh, we're going to take her down so she gets it together. But to be able to help you get through some of the challenges that you have in your relationship and really be able to communicate with each other. That the other thing that you said, right? The key part is people don't even know that they're not really communicating, right? You think because you're moving throughout your day and you may say 2 to 3 words to each other and you think that's normal, but that's not true communication. And it's not really what a relationship should be built on. So talk a little bit about how things changed for the two of you after that experience.
So things changed drastically, I would say, once I was able to receive and accept what he was saying and actually implement that into my way of living. It changed drastically because I was, you know, a woman will say things, they'll preach to you all the time, and men always consider it as nagging or this, that, and the third. And, you know, it's like blah, womp, womp, womp in our ears. If you're not mad, you're not throwing stuff across the room at us, womp, womp, womp. You can do that all day. But in reality, she was, I won't say begging, but really trying to get through to me at that time. And after counseling, I understood and learned how to communicate by not saying I. Not, you know, every time is not a time to communicate. You might not want to talk right this second. It's okay not to talk right now. You might be upset or just a long day after work. You might not want to talk right now. Talk later on or talk when you get ready. And he gave us tools in order to be able to effectively communicate. And it was streamlined ever since, I would say.
That's beautiful. It's beautiful when two people can walk away and take that advice and make things happen. And you're married now, so
It worked.
yeah, exactly. Exactly. And we love her. So
now what I do have to ask, because I missed the beginning of it, but I pretty much know what you said. What advice do you have for other men who are reluctant to take the this is a two-part question. Reluctant to do the work, period, meaning address the fact that there's trauma or bad behavior. I don't want to say bad behavior, common behavior that's not productive, and to actually get assistance, allow somebody to really feed into you.
Yeah. I'll say this about the individual first. The individual has to have somebody that he doesn't want to lose. That was me.
Ooh, wait, I gotta bang the table, do something, ring the bell, bang the table on that one. Go ahead.
That was my situation. I can only speak for me. I can't
Yeah,
speak for the vast majority. But I had someone that I didn't want to lose, which allowed me, I allowed myself to be a little more vulnerable and step out on the ledge and say, I'll try it. I'll try it. You said we should do this, I'll try it. I thought meeting number one, I was going to walk out saying, I'm never going to do this again. I told you this was going to happen, blah, blah, blah. But it wasn't that. But I don't think there's really advice to that person because they have to find themselves.
Mm-hmm.
If they can't find themselves, no woman, no man,
nothing.
Nobody, no human, child, nobody will be able to change that person until they are willing and ready to change themselves.
Absolutely.
Oh, say that one again too. Banging on the table, banging on the table again.
But once they are, the advice I can give is don't be afraid. It was the best thing that ever happened to me.
That's right. Lean in.
It was a really casual environment. I didn't feel pressured at any time. I would say do it. It's for your own good and for the best interest of yourself and your relationship.
Yeah.
Nice.
Amen. Oh, I love it. All right, we're going to take a quick commercial break and we're going to come back. Everybody out there, do not go anywhere. We are talking Treat Her Like a Lady Part 2. So we're going to get back into this conversation. And we have another video to show too for some commentary as well. So we'll be right back. And we are back. And we saw that commercial. Weekly Dose of Dano is right here on E360 TV on Thursday evening. So make sure you take a look. All right. So I'm going to bring Ryan Tolliver and She Talks when she's back. And we'll bring her back on stage as well. So I wanted to show this other video. This video, I'm going to cue this one up a little bit because this video is more about when the person is you, and this is a great segue because before we went to commercial break, you were talking about, Ryan, the person needs to be ready. Like you can't change that person in order for them to get ready for a relationship. They need to be ready. So they need to be on that path. So this video is talking about, you know, having the ability to detach yourself from the wrong situation. So definitely want to get some commentary on this. So I'm going to bring this back up to stage. And we are going to play this next video, also by Derek Jackson.
Let it in, accept the situation, and move on. Because the man that you are missing is making a conscious effort every day not to reach out to you. He sees when your name pops up on his phone, and he purposely lets it ring so he can lie about not seeing it later. He knows how much you love his good morning text, and he's refusing to send them now. He also knows y'all haven't been on a date in a while, and he's continuing to fill his schedule up with everything but you, and it's not an accident. Because if a man started off applying pressure, it takes real effort to just up and disappear. He's not just busy or maybe battling some problems. He's betting on your patience. He wants to see if you'll compromise your need for consistent quality time to prove that you're not suffocating him. But you can't suffocate a man who needs you as much as he needs the air that he breathes. You can't be too clingy for a man who's constantly thinking of you. And you cannot be too much for a man who can't get enough of you. You only think you're asking for too much until you meet a man who does it naturally. But first, you got to stop making daily excuses to reach out to a man who's making the daily decision to remain distant. Because it's a disrespect to yourself when you keep trying to rebuild bonds you didn't break. And all of that work that you're putting in to analyze his text message patterns and response times from a man who's okay making you feel unwanted is both exhausting and slowly changing you. But sis, your worth isn't determined by who's leading. It's waiting to be recognized by who's coming. So don't be out here losing your mind over a man who doesn't mind losing you.
That's so good. It's so good. So good.
That's a lot.
Right. That is a lot. That is, and there were so many key phrases in there. But women get hung up on. Oh, we've got some echoing going on from you there.
Sorry.
Is this the right camera that you want to put in there?
I'm not sure.
I'm going to take you down for a moment until you
got it.
Oh, good. Okay. All right. So there was so much wrapped up in that video.
Yes, it was.
But I'm going to ask Shema first, right? To get the woman's perspective, right? Because he said so much in there, like how a woman basically continues to accept behavior that she should not accept is what it was wrapped up into. So what do you think the reasons are why women continue to accept this type of behavior from men?
Well, I could only speak for my own experiences, and I'm pretty rigid with most things, and behavior is one of them. Usually, when you show me who you are, I'm good with it. You slap my face, I know that I don't want you to ever slap my face again, so I'm not going to go in your space, or I'm not going to interact with you, and that's figuratively. We're not talking physically. But I also know that because I'm so rigid in so many areas in my life, I am quick to dismiss. So it's a bad trait. And I'm saying this because other people are listening. It's a bad, and they should hear this. It's a bad trait to gauge how you move based on what you think you're projecting. If I'm projecting the angry Black woman, I don't want that. So I give more benefit of the doubt than I should. I give more chances than I should. I give more grace than I should. And because for me, in my mind, I'm thinking I would want somebody to give me that same grace. But how much is too much? And that's pretty much what he was talking about. How do you have to decide when enough is enough? You do it because, two, you don't want to be alone. You don't want to make a snap decision, even though it's very apparent that what he's saying is what it is. He doesn't want to be bothered. He doesn't respect you. Doesn't care how you receive or take his actions. But you also don't sometimes want to be alone.
That's real.
Call it what it is.
Yeah, that's real. That's real. And I think the problem there is that women don't really understand their value sometimes, right? Particularly when they're receiving that type of behavior. They don't really get that, I'm worthy of something more than what this man is giving me. Or it's that loneliness piece of it. Or it's that loneliness piece of it. And it's saying, I will accept this behavior because I don't want to be alone. Right. You made me think about something which I always talk about amongst us, but I always used to say that I was the runaway bride, right? Until not this current relationship, but the last relationship that I was in, I was like, okay, I'm of a certain age. Let me try to give it a try. I'm always running away from people like me. It used to be first sign of trouble. Okay, bye. See you later. I gotta go. And then I said, no, no, I'm not going to do that this time. And how many times, and I'm saying this, my own, my own for myself. I'm saying this. God was saying, girl, run, girl, leave, girl. And I kept saying, no, but I got to give it a chance because I'm always running away. And the very time that I was supposed to run away, I did it. But no matter what I accepted, God still kept saying, no.
Right.
So we have to start understanding our value as women. and not accepting what we know is not right for us. And all, you get those warning signs and you decide to put them, in the back seat and let them sit there, right? Until things start to fester and bubble up until you can't take it anymore. But it shouldn't be get to where enough is enough. It should be, this is enough right now because this is not what I deserve.
Exactly.
You ready?
Yeah.
Ready.
How does that saying, that quote go? Much is required to whom much is given. I think that's how it goes. Earlier, I spoke about those standards of how women have that checkbox and they go down the list and they want all of them checked. And when they get to a certain point, and maybe in life or after so many relationships, they start saying, okay, I don't need this one checked anymore. I can live with this. I can live with this. But at the detriment of that decision is that then the man is only going to do what's required by that woman.
Right.
You can yell and shout all day long. We're only going to listen to what you need at that present moment. If you allow us to just be negligible, we're going to be negligible as a man, as our human piece of life. We're going to do that because nothing more is required of us.
Yes.
How many women have been? I was going in a relationship with my girlfriend at the time, fiance, for 17 years. She never said, I want to be married. I want to be a bride. I want to be a wife. She never said that. So like everything is fine just the way it is. But
so good.
I believe women have to keep their standards as standards because they're standards and not wiggle from them as easy as you all have been.
Yeah, don't compromise value. Man, you just said a word, right? And this is something for women to understand because the fact that you said, right, which is, it took me a while to get there to really learn that. But the fact that you just said, like, if we're not requiring anything, men are going to be negligible.
Right.
What?
Right.
That's a word. That is a word. And that's something for women to understand. Stop compromising everything when you know that's not what you want. Because then you're just allowing the men, because men will adapt, right, to the circumstances. So if you're not requiring anything, that's what they're gonna go with. And then it's like, okay, everything else is free game, right?
In effective communication, I'll give you a scenario. I go out on weekends sometimes and hang out. My wife you hung out tonight? Okay. Next month, me and the girls are going out. Like, it's 2:00 in the morning. Where are you? Where are you? You haven't gotten home yet? Oh, no. You go out so I can go out with my girls too. I'll be home when I get home. All right, I won't go out on weekends no more. I see what I get it. I get it now. I'll be home 1:30 now. I get it. So it's all about how you do things and just requiring.
Yeah.
Honestly, it's the respect
too.
of person.
Yeah.
In all of the different relationships, respect of the respect you're going to show that person or even show yourself. You got to be honest. I put myself in that category. I respect the person I'm with, but like Ryan said, we are quick to lower the amount of respect we require because we want so many other things.
That's a word.
We all do it. I've done it. I've been doing it for the last couple of weeks, right? Let's just be real honest.
Yeah.
But you do it in hopes to find that thing that everybody wants. That one person you want to love, or that person you want to spend time with it, or make the connection with, or build a life with. You do it for those reasons, but you can't forget the person you are, or the person you want to be, or where you want to go with the relationship. You can't forget those things, accepting all of these other behaviors that you probably would have never accepted if the I don't want to say potential, if the evidence was there, true evidence, good evidence.
Yeah. And I have a saying now is, and I say this in my current relationship, like I'm gonna match your energy. I'm gonna match it.
Oh, yeah.
So just let's be clear about how this is gonna go. Either I'm gonna match it, or if something
Or
goes
I'm
wrong,
being-
that I say is lower than my standards, I'm walking away. That's
Right.
it. Like
Right.
there's no question now.
Mhm.
But you said something there too, like respect and consideration is huge. It's
It is.
huge. And I challenge too that if you start to lower your standards, right, and you get whatever you get from the person that you're with, because Ryan just explained that men are going to give you what you're requiring,
Mhm.
then that's not going to be enough for you in the long term. That's not going to be enough for you because now you've sacrificed in the beginning, and now this is how this person is showing up, and now
Absolutely.
you're not getting enough, right? So and then I see women that stay a lot longer than they should with the not enough, right?
Exactly.
And why is that, right?
Well, same reason.
Same reason.
Because you won't have anything.
Yeah.
And I listen, women, I am not telling you it's okay to have something because there's nothing. If I have to be honest, like Tracy said, we're women of a certain age. I've been 54. I've been single longer than I've been in any relationship. But I live a damn good life.
Mm-hmm.
A really, really, really good life.
Mm-hmm.
I enjoy my life. But I am always, because that is just me, I'm always looking for that one thing. And it's usually for me, relationship. Because you can be great in so many things, have so many things in life. But if that particular thing that you want or your desire, that's the desire of your heart, is not there, you do tend to waver with what you'll allow, what you'll accept, who you'll date, where you'll go, things like that. But it's temporary. It doesn't last long. And like she said, it doesn't fare well for you. It doesn't feed you the way that you want to be fed. It doesn't give you the desire of your heart because you're accepting all of this other stuff in place of it.
Absolutely. Absolutely. So I have to ask you both, when it comes to women, because you just said, I live a good life, right? Is it okay? Because, there's some people that will say it's okay to just be single. And then there's other people that will say, you need companionship, right? So what are your thoughts? What are both of your thoughts
I need it?
on that? I'm just talking about what you see on
No,
social
no.
media, right? Like,
Yeah.
mhm,
I think it's individual, depending on the person itself.
mhm,
Some people aren't meant to be with anybody. I believe.
mm,
Person you met, your personality just may not be relationship worthy. I'm a relationship type of guy. I believe everybody should have somebody,
Right.
because you get older, you need somebody there for you. Who's gonna wipe your behind if I'm just saying, you need somebody to
count me out. No, I'm joking.
take care of, and that just builds your love, and you have someone to love you.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't think we were meant to be alone in this world. Even whether it's any kind of relationship, that's why we're meant to love each other. I don't think we're meant to be alone. I think that you should enjoy the moment that you're in. If this is your single moment, enjoy it, embrace it. Because if you do want to get married or you do want to be in a relationship, it changes how you move. So move in that moment. Be single. Why? I get questions all the time. Oh my God. I see why you don't have a man, because you travel all the time. Mm-mm. I love to travel, but I travel all the time like I do. It's because I don't have a husband. I don't have children. I can travel whenever I want. It does not mean I don't respect the union when it comes, if it comes, because then I'm just going to want my husband to go with me. I want that partner that says, "Oh, this is what you love. Let's do it together."
Mm-hmm.
I don't know.
So when you say, I think you need somebody, is that necessarily a significant other, or is that just people, community, support?
I want both. I'm gonna be honest. I need both. I would like both because I have people, community, support, love. I am, and I'm speaking specifically for me. I'm not lacking in those areas in any way. The desire of my heart is to have my own mate to love on, and to be loved by.
You go,
Genuinely.
girl. Go, girl.
And I'm speaking more, and I understand you're coming from your own perspective, but I'm speaking in general, right? Like, do you feel like if a person has those other things, the community, the love, the support from, the people that surround them, if that could be enough? Because Ryan started this part of the conversation with, some people don't really have the wherewithal, I'm gonna put it that way, right, to be in a relationship.
Right. But do they recognize it? And if they do, yeah, I believe you can. I mean, if you recognize that you don't, like he said, you're not good at it, you don't thrive in it, it doesn't do you any good, or the person that you're with, and you're okay with life as it is, yeah. I agree. Everybody, if you look around and you talk to many people, they'll tell you, "Oh, I think I'm going to be single for the rest of my life." I actually know married women who say, if me and my husband if I don't want to be so morbid, but if my husband died today, that would be it. I would be single forever because I've done it, and I've loved, and I know what love is, and I hear those things all the time.
But that's a totally different scenario. That maybe that's something to tackle, on another show, because that is really that's a whole different animal there when it comes to having had love, having had a relationship maybe for years, and then saying, I've lost my true love, and now I don't want to do this again. Or it could be even, I was in a marriage for years that I was unhappy in, and now I feel like I want to live my life single, right? So that's a different animal. But I'm going to ask Ryan, because we're closing this out. When it comes to treating a woman like a lady, give the men, some quick tips on what that takes. Wrap that up in like 2 minutes.
Sure. Chivalry is not dead. Every woman loves to be treated like a woman.
Absolutely.
Okay. Consistency is key.
Oh.
Be yourself and be consistent at being yourself. I think that's.
Yeah.
I don't think we have to go any further than that.
Yes. And that's a part that's really hard, right? The consistency for people is really hard, right? And my big word always is energy, but I wrap that up with the consistency, because it's like, give me the same energy that it took to get me. Give me that same energy throughout the relationship. Now,
absolutely,
you're going to have some highs and lows, right? Of course. But it's like, keep that in your mind. That consistency is so key. You wrap it up so good.
Standards. Women
go
keep
back to
standards
the playbook, right?
Yes.
Don't uncheck those boxes, because that's where the man's inconsistency comes into play.
Yeah. Oof. That's so good. That's a word. We could just hang it up right now. That is a word right there. So everybody out there, we love you. We thank you for watching. Thank you for being here with us this Wednesday night. Listen, we do Connected Conversations every third Wednesday of the month. Ryan, come back anytime you want. This was so good. But we're gonna be here next week again with Carly Abram from the apothecary, the pollinated apothecary. So we're going to be talking to her about living healthy and healthy skincare products. All right. Take care, everyone. We will see you here next week at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time.